Hello. It's a new week, and for many of us in the United States, it feels like a new world. There is all of a sudden a sense of hope where before there was a sense of degradation and fear. There is also shock that we're coping with when we realize that Donald Trump's first election win was not a fluke and was not just a bought and paid for kind of a thing. It was actually a real presidency voted in by real people. And now that we're coping with that awareness in a completely unarguable way, we are going to have to really analyze the systems that we subscribe to for how we understand each other, how we communicate with each other, what we do when we disagree with another person, how we bring people into a level of education and critical thinking that has gone missing in this country, completely gone missing. How do we move beyond people just acting on their most basic of instincts towards self-serving agendas rather than, how can we move them beyond that into acting on the basic instinct of collective empowerment? And the basic instinct of our collective well-being and empowerment is just as important as the basic instinct of like eating and sleeping for us each as individuals. So we certainly have our work cut out for us, but I don't participate in all the palaver about declarations of this and that, and we must do better. I mean, we all know this already. This is it's sort of ego gratification for us to go around massaging ourselves with how we know how much better we have to do. So I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in participating in that. What I'm interested in is every single day doing things that make a difference and doing that without fail for the benefit of other beings. In the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple this year, our divination for the year ahead in 2 separate places said, it's time to put others before ourselves. So we've got our personal work cut out for us. And I'm not going to be looking at anybody else's plate to see what they're eating. I'm going to look at what's on my own plate and try and do better with what's on my own plate. And I encourage everybody to do the same and not to do the ego gratification, ego stroking of like how, like the discussion about how we have to do better. Don't just talk about doing better. I'm totally uninterested in what you have to say about doing better. Just do better. Just do it quietly. Just go do better and don't need to tell anyone about it. Or do better and tell a few friends because you feel like you've bettered yourself and you want to share with the people who love you and who have seen you through your worst, who have seen you through your hardships. Of course, that makes sense. So that's my little lecture on how to enter this new era. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't, that's fine. But one thing I know for sure is that we are in a state of shock in this country, a state of relief and grief, and a state of collective trauma that is going to take a number of years to overcome. So into this, we go to the one who has all the time in the world, Santa Muerte. She knows the hour and day that each of us will pass on into mist, into the mists of time. Let's go to her now with our prayers and ask for her loving guidance and protection as we go about doing better. Madre mía, Santa Muerte, ante las dificultades de la vida, ayúdame. En mis desaciertos, ilumíname. En mis soledades, acompáñeme. En las horas difíciles, consuélame. En más tentaciones, defiéndeme. En las peñas y tristezas, fortaléceme. Con tu inmenso poder, protégeme. Con tu infinito amor, ámame. Con tu gran bondad, mírame. Con tu mano providente, guíame. Así sea por siempre. Amén. We are working this month with the Jade Oracle, the Oráculo Jade by Veronica Iglesias, Ann Key, and Ramona Snow Teo. And in these images of Aztec deities and cultural symbols, we receive wisdom from ancient Mesoamerica. Today, it's Tezcatlipoca, Lord of the Smoking Mirror. Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca is the Lord of the Smoking Mirror and the Lord of Destiny. His mirror was made of obsidian, hence the smoky hue. Epic battles took place between Tezcatlipoca, representing the earth, and Quetzalcoatl, representing the wind. This can also be viewed as a conflict between the physical and the spiritual. Tezcatlipoca is often at the center of conflict, a reminder that conflict births change. In one creation story, Tezcatlipoca used his foot as bait for Cipactli, the earth monster crocodile, and she bit off his foot. And you see in the image that one of his feet is missing and has actually been turned into a wheel right here. When Tezcatlipoca appears, there is usually conflict afoot. He reminds you that illusion often obscures the truth. He challenges you to be strong and to be brave enough to face your own truth. After you clear the smoke, the mirror's image will be clear. Well, this is exactly the moment we find ourselves in, isn't it? Where literally half the country of the United States is pitted against the other half of the country politically, and where even people who voted Donald Trump out of office still might align themselves with other aspects of the Republican agenda that are not for the good of all beings. And then you also have all of the people who, suffering from poverty, ignorance, and lack of education, have selected to go down this road with this agenda where they are literally voting against themselves. They're literally standing against themselves. And then you also have on the other side of it, people who, have very good intentioned ideas, but a lot of those ideas are not hitting their mark and don't have a practical follow through. So it's not like the left is the savior. I said it before. There's no saviors here. There's no savior to be found in government. The government is not going to save us, not from COVID, not from lack of education, not from poverty, and not from ourselves. We are the ones who will have to save ourselves, and that means we need to look in that mirror. If we are in some way in ignorance, if we are in some way allowing ourselves to be led rather than arising decisions from within based on mindfulness, if we have kind of phoned it in anywhere and we're like, oh, that political stuff, I don't care about it. Well, guess what? We have to care. We have to educate ourselves and we have to care. We have to decide that it's worth it to know about the issues that will impact not only ourselves, but everyone around us, our neighbors, the elderly, the disabled, children. So our guidance today is to take a good look within and to find where are the known and hidden inner conflicts that prevent us from being in true service to our world. Maybe we have a conflict of self-centeredness. Maybe we have a conflict around fear of having people challenge us. Maybe we have a conflict around feeling self-superior or self-important because of our political views, but we're not actually underpinning that with genuine service to humanity. So today, we're going to look into that obsidian mirror and we're going to polish its surface until we can really perceive what we need to perceive about what we individually need to change. I'm going to issue a sinister triple dog dare. I get that sinister triple dog dare is from A Christmas Story. It's just one of my favorite phrases. The triple dog dare is this. Today, if you are tempted to share a political opinion, if you're tempted to focus on thinking about, how right you are because you've put an article out there or because you've made a statement, instead, go do an actual something. Pay to have a tree planted, make a donation to the NAACP or to Black Lives Matter or to any number of Trans Lifeline or any number of other organizations that are doing good work. Go help someone, like literally, actually, physically go help someone. And quit the chatter. Look in the mirror and do good work. That is the short and fiery bit for today. And now we're going to do our longer practice. And we're going to begin our Guanyin practice with 3 prostrations before the shrine. And let's take refuge. Namo Guru Be. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today, let's hold in our field of compassion and our field of good works anyone who, as a result of political discord, has been lost, dropped between the cracks, or otherwise left out in the cold. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balanced point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. No, I missed one. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds. No, I said it. Okay, sorry. Let's go forward from this. Making offerings. That's so funny. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guan Xiyin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Omahum. 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 Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guanyin, remain until the end of samsaric existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. Can I be honest with y'all? I am having a hot flash right now. And I feel like my body is gonna just like go up in a ball of flames. So if I'm having a little struggle with equanimity, please understand I'm having a hot flash. Maybe this is why Padmasambhava said that if one is to pursue the path of enlightenment, a woman's body is better. Because if you're having a hot flash and you still have to do practice, it can present tremendous challenges, but you can maybe overcome them. I hope I overcome them. All right, 108 recitations of Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, and let's cool this baby off. Namo Guanxi Yin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxi